What are expectations? In the dictionary, it is defined as a strong belief that something will happen or be the case in the future. Some put expectations on themselves, whether it's going to the gym every day, saving money, keeping up with your diet, etc. Others get expectations put on them, like from your parents wanting you to go to college, your spouse wanting you to be faithful, your kids wanting you to play with them. Is expecting something out of someone or yourself helpful or harmful? In this manga by the mangaka Taiyo Matsumoto, best known for his work on Tekkon Ken Creed, explores this concept through a story simply about kids playing ping pong. Ping Pong is a 1997 manga about Peko and Smile, two kids with polar opposite personalities who are best friends growing up together with a common love of the table tennis game ping pong. Both kids play for their high school teams and are very skilled. Peko, who is an overly zealous, naturally gifted player, and Smile, who is also naturally gifted but mentally holds himself back, especially when it comes to playing against Peko. During the national table tennis tournament, Smile and Peko go up against some stiff competition from all around Japan and even one of the great international Chinese players. Peko loses early on in the tournament to Manabu Sakuma, who is a childhood rival of Peko, who isn't as good as Peko or Smile, but surely works harder than both of the boys, which effectively kills Peko's spirit, forcing him to give up on ping pong. More on that later. Smile, on the other hand, makes it to the semifinals and loses to the top player from China, Kong Wang. But in that loss gains attention as he is put on everybody's radar, as he is seen to have potential and a high ceiling as a ping pong player. So how does expectations come into play with this story? Let's start with Peko. See, Peko was a natural at this game. Pretty much he was one of the best, if not at the very least he was the best at his local ping pong club. He is portrayed as a goofy kid who just loves to play the game, but not one for practicing his skills. And at the time, why should he? Peko was the best until he was bested by someone who he used to dominate as a youth. Someone who Peko felt like should have been an easy win against, since he's done it time and time again before. So this loss to Manabu really metaphorically and quite literally knocked the wind out of Peko. Peko had this expectation of himself to never lose a match and to win the national tournament. He was always full of life and confident. He pictured himself as the hero. So once he took this heartbreaking loss, Peko didn't know how to cope. He just quits on ping pong and just starts playing video games at his local arcade and picks up smoking and gains weight from just eating junk food and hanging around all day. Peko was pretty much depressed in this time period, even if the story doesn't overtly say it. The expectations he had on himself broke him down when they were not met, but eventually he bounces back. I'll get more into that later. Next, let's talk about Smile. Alright, so before we get into the expectations of Smile, I just want to give a quick plug to myself. I finally just finished my horror one-shot, Strange Fruits Revenge. This is I Spit in Your Grave meets the story of Nat Turner. It is a horror one-shot about a runaway slave who gets captured, gets killed, and gets saved by a deity, goes back and gets revenge on his slave masters. I have it on my website. Link is in the bio. Thanks. Like, comment, subscribe on the video. Let's get back to Smile, who is nicknamed that ironically by Peko because he never smiles, let alone has shown much emotion throughout the whole entire story. Smile, just like Peko, is naturally gifted in ping pong, but unlike Peko, Smile doesn't have an overwhelming personality. Smile is a more passive, dominant player who at times comes off as lackadaisical when it comes to the game of ping pong. Don't get me wrong, when he plays to win, but at times he seems to back down against a real challenge or seems to come off as not to be bothered by this challenge of becoming better. Everyone in the story sees this. They see his potential, and Joe Kiyazama, the head coach of Peko and Smile's ping pong team, takes Smile directly under his wing to push him to that next level. See, Joe Kiyazuma was a top tier player back in his prime. He was known as Butterfly Joe, a highly talented player who purposefully lost in the national championship to his best friend. When it comes to Smile, Joe sees himself in him. Joe puts a lot of expectations on Smile and demands greatness out of him. He goes all Joe Jackson on Smile's ass. At first, Smile defects, then eventually falls in line to become one of the best players in the next national ping pong tournament. Now, at this point, both kids handle expectations of others and themselves differently, as where Peko doesn't live up to his own expectation and quits altogether, and Smile, who doesn't have any expectations of himself at all, is pushed into greatness from a mentor of sorts. Peko needed that help from a mentor. During his depressed fat boy cigarette smoking phase, Peko goes to one of his old ping pong tournaments practices and sees how much Smile has progressed in his game. Seeing this inspires Peko to get back on the tabletop and best paddle to play again, but he needs help. He finds this guidance in Baba, the chain smoking owner of the ping pong club Smile and Peko grew up playing at. She helps Peko get back into shape and practices his ass to death. Baba expects greatness, nothing less, out of Peko, and so does Joe out of Smile, pushing both boys to eventual glory in the next national ping pong tournament where they face off in the finals against one another. I won't spoil who wins the match or what happens in the later chapters of the manga, but boy oh boy, the artwork in these sequences are beautiful, just magnificent. But overall, what I'm trying to get at is expectations really encapsulate what this story is about, especially when it comes to young children, men, or women who need guidance and help when it comes to navigating throughout life. How your own expectations or lack thereof can and will hold you down or back. That the expectations of others can push you to the next level of success, even if given the right person to lead you. Even though I only focused on the main two protagonists in this video essay, the whole entire series cast pretty much goes through these levels of expectations of themselves and that are put on them by others. Even with the side characters or antagonists like the dragon, Kong, and the demon, they all have their own expectations when it comes to playing ping pong. The dragon is the leader and touted as, one of the best, most intimidating ping pong players in his prefixture. And he feels this weight on his shoulders quite literally in the tournaments. Before he goes up in matches, he goes to the restroom and sits in there and has like a literal anxiety attack to a degree, or at least that's what it kind of seems like to me. Kong literally flew from China all the way to Japan to be in these tournaments and stuff, to be scouted and all that. And he also has the person who his coach that flew in with him, who was really hard and on his ass about winning and not losing. And Demon, who, like I said, he beats Peko in the beginning, and then, spoiler, ends up losing later on and loses his will to keep playing, but also finds grace in other things in life that isn't just pertained around playing ping pong. Ping pong is quite literally a beautiful manga. I can see why the writer of One Piece really fucked with it, and it ultimately inspired him to a degree with One Piece and stuff like that, because not just one character is just there to help move the plot. Each character kind of has their own thing that makes them who they are and drives the story in a real way. It's an awesome manga. You should go check it out. I got the Viz Media Takubans, like the omnibus versions. It's a really great read. Quick read, probably took me 3-4 days to read it. I've been on a manga reading tear lately, these last couple weeks, as that's what I've been doing on my free time. As also, I finally finished my horror manga, or webcomic one shot that I've been promoting in my last couple of videos. That's why I've taken a little bit of time off from making videos so I can finish it. It's called Strange Fruits Revenge. Link is in the description. It is I Spit on Your Grave meets the story of Nat Turner. It is about a runaway slave who gets captured and killed and is brought back to life by a goddess in order to take revenge on his masters and free his people. It's 36 pages, easy, quick read. I really had a good time doing it. I feel like I showed a lot of progress in my artwork, and in my storytelling. If you give it a read, like I said, click the link in the bio. Give me some feedback. I highly appreciate it. I highly appreciate everybody who watches the videos to the end. If you didn't watch the video to the end, your mom's a hoe. And you wouldn't know your mom's a hoe because you didn't watch the video to the end. No, I'm playing. But like I said, I appreciate you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm going to try to upload a little more frequently as I'm in between working on my next project, which I will reveal in a later video. Thanks. Peace.